Good morning, Fractal Effects team. Please read the disclosure before we get started. If you're following along with us today, make sure you do in a demo account, as this is for educational purposes only. We are not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice. Jump onto the charts in a minute. So we had some high-impact news drivers today. One dropped at 8:30 Eastern Standard. And we have Fed Chair Powell speaking a little later. So we're actually just focusing on oil today. I'm staying away from any US related assets. So we have an interesting setup here in US oil, where we had a downside expansion model with New York opening up above London. We have a mixed model buy, and then we broke the manipulation range to the upside with one clean leg so far. It's a little messy here, hard to see with all these boxes I have set up. Here, I'm going to get rid of a couple of these. So there's our blue range under us. Here's the New York opening gap. Now what this is the midpoint of this 5M wick. It's a big 5M wick right here. And it ran right into a 1 hour fair value gap. So we have no confirmation as of yet, but as mentioned before, this is all one clean leg. Now we're using Brent crude oil as a divergence. What we have here is we did sweep, so here's the same candle that had the long wick, but we swept the low first. So here we didn't sweep the low. This, I believe, closed. Here's the closing price. A little hard to see again with all this. But the closing price of this candle and this candle are the exact same. On Brent crude, however, we have a divergence because we already swept that low. So if we take this top, that's a double break. That'll solidify the fact that this market does want to move up. And it could use the New York fair value gap or the blue zone to reject off of. We got 2 minutes until the range is fully formed. I just wanted to see if it was going to turn around here after hitting the consequence encroachment of this wick. One minute left in this candle. Just going to move this back. Here's another smaller 1M fair value gap I had outlined, but it's already violated it, so we're going to get rid of this one as well. If we can select it. I just have to move that out and select it. So if we turn around at this wick, could be heading back down to the blue zone, and even further to take out these lows right into the purple. If we get that break, however, which it looks like Brent Crude's about to give us right now, so our range is fully formed now. We just hit 1030. This next candle could give us our confirmation. So it could be both the confirmation candle and the double break candle. Remember, if we get a double break, we are not interested in a sell. We are only looking for a buy. And most likely it'll come back to the New York fair value gap, tap the blue zone, and we'll look for a 5M fair value gap, bullish fair value gap to be created. So it did stop short of this double break. No confirmation yet. Let me just zoom in real quick and check. That one's tough to say. I bet you they're probably the same height as well. So the high of this candle is 66.047. Wait, no, sorry. 66.187. 66.187. So that does not count as a break. So this could still be rejecting this consequence encroachment and give us a push to the downside. Now that we're at 1030, we're waiting for the spotlight confirmation, retracement, extension. And we're just using the blue zone strategy as confluence. Looks like it wants to punch through here with Brent Crude. This is why technicals matter. This could technically just give us a bearish fair value gap, which would still be going with the original blue zone strategy. We have a downside expansion model, but we broke to the upside first. If we broke to the upside first, and it's one clean leg, and we get a bearish fair value gap, it could tap that and retrace all the way at least into this zone. Not sure if it would give us a bearish confirmation. We'd have to see. All that separates it is literally 1 micro pip. But as of right now, there is no double break. This is all still one clean leg that broke the manipulation zone. Sometimes things are it makes things a little bit easier when your confirmation candle is your double break candle, as long as it closes and it gives you that confirmation, then you have a confirmation and a double break. Until you get that, this market could actually punch right through, since we did have a downside expansion model originally, and it could give us a bearish confirmation. That's why we wait. And another pattern that we had here was, look at all this consolidation. So this is power of 3, right? When you see this much consolidation happening on the 5M, it's consolidation, manipulation. The whole leg would then have to be manipulation and then distribution. So it kind of came up, came back down, continued up. And I'm sure a lot of people went short right here, broke the range. So this is still consolidation, manipulation, and distribution could be to the downside, in which case it would want to, at the very least, take out these lows. That's not a coincidence that it's having a tough time. This is not support and resistance. Support and resistance doesn't boil down to a micro pip. Same exact highs, unable to break it. So even though I'm personally waiting for a confirmation, I'm having a more of a bias towards the bearish side of this. And if we get a 5M bearish fair value gap here, there's a chance we could get a bearish confirmation eventually to take out these lows. That's kind of where I'm leaning right now. But let's see. Let me get rid of this. We don't really need this anymore. We've already exhausted it. And it just stopped short of previous day's high. Let me get rid of this green line. That yellow line right there, that's previous day's high. It was counting on people going long here to take out previous day's high. Which again, it still could. Until we get that confirmation, we don't care. Until it gets that, and that confirmation would take out previous day's high. It would take out previous day's high. It would give us our double break and our confirmation. But until that happens, my bias is still 5M fair value gap, potentially tap it to take out this consolidation zone. Let's just wait and see. When you have a full-fledged strategy, it makes things a lot easier. There's no way of getting FOMO here. Either you get a confirmation or you get a 5M bearish fair value gap. That takes us down. But either way, we're waiting for a confirmation on one of these sides. Where some people are panicking. Maybe they got in here and they're watching the market come back down towards their entry. Maybe potentially their stop loss is down here. That's not us. Here's new day's opening gap down here, that aqua line. Look at this on the 1M. Did create another bearish fair value gap here that it's respecting, another one here that it's respecting. I'll find this one for now. Still no bearish 5M fair value gap though. That's what you want to see. Still nothing. We've had a couple of other assets confirmed, but again, we're not looking at any US related assets today. Either this thing gives us a confirmation or a 5M bearish fair value gap. We're also sitting inside this orange box right here, which is the new week opening gap, with the midpoint being right there. So we're on the upper side of it. Brent crude oil might be the first to break. Let's see. There you go. And you got a confirmation. Well, that's on the 1M. 53 seconds left to see if we get that confirmation. On the 5. So this is now our double break. So keep in mind though, we just double broke right into a 4-hour fair value gap. This is a 1-hour fair value gap. And here's a 4-hour fair value gap right under it. So now we have to proceed with caution. The only fair value gap that was left here so far in the 5M range is down here, the New York fair value gap. And we have not had much of an early retracement. So let's see if it leaves this fair value gap open. But other than that, there's really no foothold here at all. Remember, after confirmation, it wants to come back in and fill in an inefficiency. And right now, this is the only one that's untapped. This one hasn't fully formed yet. Get rid of this one. So now we're only looking for a buy. And then depending whether or not this fair value gap stays open, I'm only interested down here. I want to tap here, create a bullish fair value gap on the 5M, tap it, you know the drill, tap a fair value gap, create a fair value gap, and then ride it right into this consequence encroachment of this 4-hour. But if it just keeps going, or if it creates one here and taps it and runs, I'm not interested. This is good. There you go. That's what I wanted. I wanted to see it close. I want to force this to pull down into here. "26 seconds left till a new candle." got to proceed with caution here. Remember, it's only a buy model until it's not. It's only a sell model until it's not. So we have just tapped this higher time frame PD array. Even though it hasn't hit the midpoint yet, it has delivered. Even if it's a double break, if it hits a higher time frame PD array, it could reverse on you. So I want to see what it does here. I want to see if it taps here and then gives us a bullish 5M fair value gap first. Still nothing of interest. On a day like today, especially after hitting this higher time frame PD array, this is the only area I am interested in. And I'm not interested in taking a sell into it. I want to see the market hit this and then give me a bullish setup to potentially go into this consequence encroachment. The fact that we have hit this higher time frame PD array, it could just give us a bearish fair value gap, tap it, and then push down. That is a potential possibility. That's why we're waiting. But this is the only area. You have to expect this kind of price action on days like this. As mentioned before, other than the fact that this is for educational purposes and we're trying to teach you guys. These are not days that I would trade personally. I would sleep in. Anytime Fed Chair Powell speaks, usually on a Wednesday, so I personally would trade on a Monday and a Tuesday, and then take the day off on a Wednesday. Whereas people have long weekends and holidays, as a day trader, you take off those specific days. FOMC, non-farm payroll, Fed Chair Powell speaking, CPI, PPI. Those are days you take off. Those are your holidays. Still just stuck there, no fair value gap created. Coming down to the 20 EMA now. There's one part of our weekly range right there as well. I'm not sure if that's the top or the bottom. Assuming it's the top. So we're above the weekly range. Got to be careful. See what happens here. So another 4 minutes, 32 seconds to see if this fair value gap stays open. But I want to see some tapping here, rejection. If it bounces off the weekly, the top of the weekly range on the 20 EMA, I'm honestly not interested. As mentioned before, when you have a 4-hour fair value gap, this is the area that I want to see it either reject or punch through. When you hit something this big, you want to see a decent retracement to a very highly magnetic zone. Blue zone, New York fair value gap, both of these are sitting on top of each other. Here we go. 1 minute, 48 seconds left. Just going to turn off the blue zone indicator here for a second to see. So we did tap the NYC fair value gap. But until we see a bullish 5M fair value gap being created, I'm not interested. We're going to move with a lot of caution today because of this higher time frame PD array that we've hit. Doesn't mean we're afraid of it. We're just proceeding with caution because it could force the market to go deeper. There's really only one target. So we've taken out previous day's high right here, this yellow line. So it's technically delivered everything it needed to. It's another reason it could technically reverse and just continue down from here. And these are the kind of models I hate. The ones where it's already completed its mission, but it also did a double break to do it. If it had done it in one single leg, I would have been confident taking the first bearish fair value gap down. However, it did a double break. and it closed right above previous day's high. So if we get a 5M bullish fair value gap setup, I'm still more interested in taking this buy over potential sell, at least for the time being. We'll see. Look at the size of the fair value gap on Brent crude oil. Just a sliver. Just a sliver. Anytime you see a small little fair value gap like that, they'd like to hide it sometimes, so they can just quickly tap it and push down. So now they're engineering new liquidity, and they're playing both sides. People going long here, people that are looking to go short off that sliver of a fair value gap. Since we have a double break and a confirmation, we're looking for a bullish 5M fair value gap to be created. Outside of that, we're not interested. I'm not interested in selling this market. Not anymore. If that was a single leg, all day I would have taken that sell. Just going to make a little line here indicating that fair value gap to see if it taps it or not. So now we're digging deeper into the NYC opening fair value gap. Looks like I might want to dig in a little deeper. We have about 20 minutes left in our feed. Let's see if it gives us anything. Digging in even deeper, let's see if it goes all the way back to the blue zone. This is another way they muddy the waters. Since we went in so deep, they could create a bullish fair value gap all the way here to tap the bearish fair value gap and push down lower. That might not happen in our allotted time. That's why we give it that time window. If it doesn't happen in that 1 hour after the range formation, we're not interested, because that's when more manipulation starts to hit the market. Looks like we're digging in even deeper, going towards that blue zone. There you go, right into the blue zone. We do have, a muddying of the waters here. We did have a power of 3 going up into a 4-hour fair value gap. We had a double break into a 4-hour fair value gap. Now we had a deep retracement back to the blue zone. My bias is still slightly towards the bullish side, but I'd want to see a 5M fair value gap being created. And if it doesn't and it keeps pushing down, then that's the end of that session. Because usually when you see a power of 3, at the very least, the market likes to come back and sweep out the lows. Here was your consolidation. This would have been considered the manipulation. And then this could be the distribution to take out those lows. Using this 4-hour fair value gap as a rejection point. We've already taken out previous day's highs, but it's just that we got that double break. That double break with a bullish confirmation increases the odds of this going back up rather than going down. But it also muddies the waters. That's why I would normally sit out on days like this. We just hit the 50 EMA, blue zone, consequence encroachment. Let's see what it gives us. It's a pretty strong rejection candle here. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left though. Let's see if it engulfs this candle. One minute, 40 seconds left. Very strong candle here so far. Let's see if it gets over the 20 EMA. About 12 minutes left in our stream. I want to see a bullish fair value gap. 5M fair value gap being created here first. And then confirmation on a lower time frame. That's the only way I'd enter this market. And we close just a little under that 20 EMA. So it's a good rejection. We just need that 5M fair value gap. If we check this on a 1M, we left this fair value gap open. That's our inducement. So we've taken inducement. But I need to see one on the 5M. This is a good sign right now. We've punched through that fair value gap. We left a lot of breakaway gaps on the 1M. I want to see if this candle closes above this fair value gap and disrespects it. So far, no 1M fair value gap's been tapped either. We're slowly starting to get a crossover on the 1M time frame of the 20 and the 50. 39 seconds left. This would be a good area. Which we trace back into. Three, two, one. Now let's see if this 5M fair value gap stays open. Three minutes, 45 seconds left. I want to see this fair value gap stay open. I want to see this crossover Well, we've already had a crossover, but I want to see it come back and maybe tap that crossover. We haven't really hit this fair value gap yet. Just created it. Two minutes, 22 seconds left. See this 5M fair value gap stay open. On the market, tap it, create a 1M bullish fair value gap. Excuse me, 1M bullish fair value gap, tap it, and then continue up. A little over a minute left. Coming back down to the 20 EMA. I want to see what this looks like on the 5M. We've got 44 seconds. I'm going to refine this. "23 seconds. Let's see if it even leaves it open. Might just close it off and keep pushing down then. Looks like we're going to keep it open. 10, 9. One. There you go. That's the new refined area. I want to see a tap here. And then create a bullish 1M fair value gap. If it takes off without us, it takes off without us. Even though we're at 11:30 now, I want to see this next candle. I want to see if it at least taps. Then we'll at least give you guys a setup. Leave it at that. So if it taps within this next candle, if it taps this area, and then gives you a 1M bullish fair value gap, and then taps that, and then closes above the series of candles, then that would be a high probability trade setup with your stop loss set somewhere around here. and you take profit just a little bit above. Let's see if this actually works out to be a 1 to 3. Might just be a little short of it, actually. Let's see. No, 3.2. There you go. But anyways, that's our setup, and that's our time. Please check us out on fractaleffects.com, where we teach high probability trade setups. Please hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you know when we're live. We'll be live again tomorrow, and we'll leave it there today. Have a good rest of the day.